I thought it was intrusive. I thought it was intrusive. I wasn't wrong. You're recording? Yes, I am recording. Can I have my birds now? So you put on my normal life. Put your thing in there. All right, look. See, I'm doing my own shit. It doesn't interact with this app in any sort of way. It interacts with me. Is it taking some time? Do I need to sit in this spot too? Because I will if I need to do that. No. There's a part of me that is not only impatient, it doesn't wait. It doesn't. It goes along the way. It never stops. It carries on. It's like the leading edge of my consciousness. It feels good now, being aware of it, and it's like I'm in the awareness of it. It's nice. My friends came. I gave them an excess container we have. I wasn't sure what they wanted, and I came out here and I set it in this spot. I'll sit in this spot now. My friend, when I told him the weird stuff, and it wasn't too much weird phenomenon, but in this case, it makes perfect sense to me because it involves him. He was the one that had the... Are we ready? Or are we going to glitch? I'll open my mouth in a second. He was the one that had the chip in his head, he told us. We prayed over it for like a week. Kaiser Soze gave me the magnetic chip, or it was a poker chip. We had it on the refrigerator for a while. I buried it after I swiped his head and intended to connect to the chip and bypass it. So, as you can see, it's important to me that that link is severed, at least for his sake. And if he's with someone else that I care about, I mean, it makes sense. It would mess with all the fine tunings that one would have in their own personal life. Do I think a person can do that with a magnet? Yes, I do. I've already had the magnetic calendar appear. That was something I found in my dad's room, and I read it, and it said magnetic calendar. I was like, how is this magnetic? It doesn't explain it at all. It just says this is a magnetic calendar, and I'm like, well, that's going to be a problem. That's going to be a problem if there's no magnet attached. They can't just use my magnetism. That's not going to work. I don't allow that. I do have some animal magnetism, my own personal shit, and I figure it's kind of white magnetic wizardy. I thought that was interesting when I looked at my birthday and it said that, white magnetic wizard. I was like, man, that explains it. My nephew calls me on command of his mom, who, I don't know what the hell, where his head's at. I'm not entirely sure. He wants to play Call of Duty. I was the one that brought it up. I was like, we can play the Call of Duty game with each other. It wouldn't be a bad idea. He knew. He was ready to do it today. I said, let's do it tomorrow and not today. I need to have at least the rest of the day. Now, what's going on there? You tell me. Shit, I don't know. Some of it's weird. Now, there are things that I learned, witnessed, and experienced here recently, especially in regards to my dad and my dad's family, that it's like I've learned how to emotionally deal with shit in regards to missing somebody. You're going to be sad. You're going to have grief. But you want to turn that into something else. Because if you don't, you're losing the fight with the terrorist that messes up your house, which is probably going to be you. You could call it depression and anthropomorphize it, but you don't have to. Most of the time, it will not appear before you and let you punch it in the face. It's a lot worse. It's sort of subtle. It tells you go lay in bed and go do this and go do all this shit. Anytime you want to do something that's good for you, it doesn't want to do that. You want to exercise and eat right? It doesn't want to do that. No, I don't. I don't want to eat right. I want to eat you. So, can you wear this as fourth dimensional helmet? It's fourth density, dummy. Fourth density helmet. Does this work? So I'll wear this and I'll use the phone to wear it. Will that jump me to the 5D? I don't fucking know about that. I don't care about that. Nobody's worried about any of that shit. It feels nice to be alive. It does. My order of fucking shit up is that my outside will look clean first, and my yard is clean. You can look at it and it's nice. Mowed it, put a lot of effort. My friend, I was going to let her drive the lawnmower. Hell, I even put it forward that she should drive the lawnmower, and then I thought about it, and I was like, no, she'll probably hit something and break it. And then I'll be mad at her, and it'll be my fault because she doesn't know the yard. I know the yard. I should mow the yard. And I did. I mowed it. Mostly, there's some areas where I wasn't able to get to, but the appearance of the yard looks fine. I feel okay about that. My uncle told me that my other uncle, the elder, that I thought did all that stuff at the house, didn't do none of it. They'd come over and they'd have to mow the grass. I was like, well, that's fucked up. You know, I'd seen him doing stuff, and I don't think he's entirely a piece of shit, but something was messed up with him. And so far, Vietnam doesn't explain it. My dad's told me stories. I've heard them both, but if I didn't have them all to put side by side at this time, I wouldn't know. You know, and I know enough to ask. Like, you know, you need to know to ask your people, but I didn't expect to find half of the stuff not what I was told. You believe him? Wouldn't he just tell you something about? No, he wouldn't. I don't think so. He had enough of the information and stories about Vietnam, like that he could tell me right then and there, to qualify for, like, this is some other shit. Now, is it our family bloodline thing? There are some things with the family that's very strange, because there's, like, my grandpa went all of his life before he found out about his dad dying. His dad climbed through a fence, going to do some hunting right at the beginning of the Depression, and his gun went off and killed him. He lived for like 6 hours, and there was a preacher that spent that time with him before he died, and then sent that in a letter to the rest of the family, which at that time was in Arizona. Now, all this is very interesting. Now, it blows my mind every time that I hear that they just found this out, like, so late in life. Nobody knew none of this went on. You know, because I'd heard my whole life the original story. You know, I thought, and that still doesn't kind of make sense to some degree. My phone died right on the edge of that conversation. If they were going to tell me, and this is what he said when I asked him, Uncle, well, what the fuck happened? The story, what happened with the letter and the preacher? What's going on? He said, well, my dad didn't know because he was 2 months old. He was 2 months old. So he doesn't know. You don't remember nothing from 2 months, do you? I don't. Like, well, what about the mom? How far away was his mom from there? Well, I don't know. The story keeps being told as if she's somewhere else. I'm like, well, is she in the same town? If she's not there while he died, then where's the mystery? Somebody didn't tell him. Well, they have the funeral because they couldn't keep the body so long. That doesn't answer the question. I still don't get an answer to this question. There's some weird phenomenon afoot. Now, if I fuck with that phenomenon, I'm making a mistake, because there are simple answers to questions like that. Now, they all receive some sort of news, and it's wonderful news to get this information after so much time. And I don't know what to make of it, because I'd heard the same thing my whole life. In fact, it was one of the earlier stories I heard about my family that was regarding Levi, who they called LB or LV, because nobody names their kid Leviticus anymore. Not in these times. No, that's not entirely true. I have sons with weird names that normal Christians can't account for. They don't name their kids stuff like that. But I intentionally name my son those names. I named one of my sons Aurorus after this same eagle I'm wearing on my head, because the experience that I had, and I had it in this town, I didn't live here. But I was on the highway. I got a lot of information come to me that was part of a previous experience using the god form of Horus. Actually, Aurorus, Horus the Elder. We went to the other occult students, and I went to a hotel that we were renting the conference room to in Austin. About 50 of us were in that room. We're all doing it together. And when I did, my eyes went to the both sides of my head and I could see 360 degrees. Not only can I not imagine again how that felt, and I can't do it because there's some sort of block on that. The information still passes through, though, becomes some sort of message, and I guess it now has concluded itself because I named him Aurora Strike. Were demonic entities tempting you to change your firstborn son's name? No, that's not the experience I had. I still had a wonderful experience. I still don't recall the information in the same way because it would have to process through me in a different way. I can't see or think in 360 degrees. I'm sorry. I cannot do it in the same way. I can remember what it felt like, and I can articulate to you the sensation of my vision going from binocular over to the side. And I had tried and used a lot of those God forms in different times. The only really powerful one puts them back together for me, though, because I used the God form of Anubis, and I walked through my front door in this house. And I went outside to do something in the woods. And when I walked through that door, the 360 put on to binocular visions like a skin, like going through a Stargate over me, like you could see this on me right now. And I went out into the woods and had a very strange experience. But then blew up the kid that was bombing things in the mailboxes and stuff. Somebody was bombing stuff here in Austin. My friends are now going to Austin. So there is a conduit that runs between here and Austin. And in Austin is the trauma. I saw them blow that kid up from the top view. The car, they blew it up. Know how they blew it up. I saw the car blow up. I don't know who he was or all the details. I saw it, though. I know what I remember, and I know it is confusable. And it could be damn near anything to be confusable. But that's not really the point. The point is the proof is in the pudding. And if you want to find out, give it a try. Because you can do a hell lot more than you think you can. And you should be well on your way, actually. In case you didn't notice. Anyway, that's all I wanted to say. I've completed one circuit of things that I had experienced before and what they meant. And what they actually meant is pretty fucking badass. It's real significant. Have a nice day.